All right, folks, good morning. Today we are on video 3 of week 7. Okay, that is lesson 9, which in your workbook is on page 79, lesson 9 of unit 8. So today we've been working on Pythagorean theorem this week. Today we are talking about, is it a right triangle, right? How do we know if something's a right triangle? Well, with the Pythagorean theorem, it only works for right triangles. So if it works for this triangle, I mean, if we can put the side lengths into Pythagorean's theorem and it works, then it's a right triangle. All right, but enough talk. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so we have a triangle. Beautiful, right? Really is something. Quite a spectacle. It's a happy triangle. It's got arms. It's got legs. Oh, wait. Oh, this triangle has legs anyway. And let's say the lengths of these legs are 7 and 10, right? See what I did there? Anyway, and the hypotenuse is 12. Fantastic. All right, now, we know the triangle I made is a right triangle, but sometimes when people draw triangles, they draw them a little bit. No, that's too perfect. This is the problem with programs like this. They're just so darn good all the time. So let's say we drew this and looked. Well, let me move that line. That's not going to work. All right, but you can't really tell that it's a right triangle. It's a little bit not to scale. Let's just link that up. There we go. But say someone just drew this triangle on a napkin for you at a restaurant or something and labeled the sides 12, 10, and 7 and asked you, is it a right triangle? Well, but before they did that, they offered you hey, if you can tell me if this is a right triangle or not, I'll get you a burger for free. And burgers are great, so let's do this. Let's get a free burger. All right, so we want to prove that this is a right triangle or that it isn't. Well, let's just do this. So we write out our Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Get out of here, notifications. All right, we write it out in Pythagorean's theorem, okay? Now we just have to put in what we know. So let's say 7 squared plus 10 squared equals 12 squared, okay? Now, just a quick piece of information. I'm putting 7 in for A and 10 in for B. It doesn't really matter which leg is A and which leg is B, as long as you're using the legs for A and B, okay? The longest side, or the hypotenuse, in this case it's the longest side because we don't know if it's a hypotenuse yet. We don't know if it's a right triangle, but the longest side has to be, we have to put it in for C every time, okay? But A and B can be either of the two legs. So let's continue on. So we've got 7 squared is 49, plus 10 squared is 100, and 12 squared is 144. Okay, great. So is 49 plus 100 going to equal 144? No, it's not. It's going to be 149 is equal to 144. That is false. It is not true. So this is not right. Well, it's not a right triangle. And that answer is right. Not a right triangle. Great. And that's how you would answer that problem. And then the person at the diner would get you a burger. It'd be awesome. Or maybe a waffle. I'd rather get waffles, personally. I've had too many burgers this week, though, anyway. All right. So let's try this again with another triangle. So say we have another triangle. Someone drew it on the back of a napkin, so it looks like that. Just not a very well drawn to scale triangle. And let's say the hypotenuse is 13 and the legs are 5 and 12. Well, let's test this one out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Well, it doesn't matter which leg goes in for A or B, but I know the two shorter lengths have to go in for A and B. And then the longest length has to be C, so we'll put in 13 squared. So now we have 5 squared is 25 plus 144 is equal to 13 squared is 169. So 25 plus 44 does in fact equal 69. So we get 169 is equal to 169. So this is right. Well, the answer is right. But also the triangle, this is a right triangle. Perfect. And that would be your answer there. That's how you'd write it. You'd say it with confidence because you know you're right. Awesome. Okay, so kind of a quick lesson today, but that's all we're doing is just being able to tell if a triangle is right or not just by looking at the legs and the hypotenuse and if that makes Pythagorean's theorem, if we put them in for those variables, if it makes a true statement, like 169 is equal to 169. All right, great. So good work, folks. You all have a great rest of the weekend, and hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.